the last episode of Unmuted, we discovered that most video marketing struggles come from a lack of strategy. But here's the thing, strategy without systems does not work either. So today we are covering the systems that turn your video strategy into consistent results. But before I bring my guest on stage, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Ana Gil, a photographer, video producer specializing in professional imagery and video marketing. I create headshots and marketing content for websites and promotional materials and produce corporate videos and remote webinar productions. I am also involved in the creator community through Ecamm Live, which is the software I am using to produce this show. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest, fellow creator, video content strategist, and best-selling author of the One Right video. Without further ado, Diana Gladney. Hi, my friend.
Hi, how are you?
Excited to have you on the show talking about this very important topic.
Very excited to be here. I'm pumped.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
to hear. So before we dive into the content, can you please share a little bit more about you, what you do, how you help your clients that was not covered in your intro?
Absolutely, I'll be happy to. So, my name is Diana Gladney. I'm a native out of St. Louis, Missouri, the youngest of six, and the aunt to 22 nieces and nephews. So, I am a super aunt and very proud of it. The way I got started in video and a little bit about me and how I help my clients is that I help them simplify the video creation process to reach wider and connect deeper with the people that need you the most. And the people that need you the most are your clients or future or potential clients. So your content marketing strategy is everything. And I believe video up there, the only other thing above video is live streaming. Like we're doing right now, that get us as close as we can, belly to belly interaction. And if you're going to grow, expand, and amplify your business, I believe video is the best way to do that. And so the way I help my clients is we go through that content marketing strategy, we go through the video. And a lot of the previous years has been focused and centralized around the actual technical side of things, the camera, the lenses, the video, the planning and things like that. So this next season of the business, we are moving very heavily into strategy, very heavily into video marketing as a whole, since now the gear is so much easier.
Yes, thank you, Diana. And wow, 22, I mean, super aunt, there it is,
Yeah.
you know. So everyone, you are in good hands. You have two incredible video experts with you today. So if you have any questions as we go through, please go ahead and write it in the comments. And as well, if you have comments for us about how your workflow, you use video and would like to share your workflow. So Diana, we're going to start with why systems are important, right? So
Yeah.
in my work with my clients, I've noticed that people often create content without clear workflow. And it becomes overwhelming naturally, right? So what patterns do you see when clients come to you without systems in place?
Yeah, so the first things that stick out are all of the frustrations, all the pains, all the anxieties that come when it comes to producing any kind of video content. Specifically, they'll say like it's taking me forever to make a video, and then the video they make they don't like. Something else that you'll hear, common frustration and problem, is that they'll do a lot, and so sometimes they'll do this what I call like a content dump, where they get in a groove or they've been inconsistent, which is another one. They've been inconsistent for so long, or it's on again, off again, inspired coming from an event like Creator Camp from Ecamm, and then they'll make content and they'll do this content dump. And then nothing. It's just like it's a solid month of good stuff, and then it's just like ghost. The other thing is that they're really frustrated with it not producing results, and that results is leading to clients, it leading to sales, it leading to business, which then in turn makes them feel like they are wasting their time and their money watching content on YouTube, buying courses or books, and just buying and investing in gear because it's not producing an ROI or that return on their investment. And so they see it's soaking up so much from them, they start to devalue it. And they're like, how are people making money from this successfully? How are people doing this? And you see how busy they are, or you see what their client load potentially could look like based on like some of the marketing metrics that you could see and pull publicly online. And you're like, Dak, how are they doing this, whether they're solo or whether they are running a business? So those are some of like the pains, problems, frustrations when they show up. That's usually what just becomes the thing that they're verbalizing. So systems becomes extremely important because that's the solution to everything that they are complaining and not just, it's really not complaining. It's like they're figuring out these are the problems that happen when you have a system, but it's broken. Your system
Yes.
is a broken system that you're operating from consistently. You now need to transfer it from, it's not that you don't have one, you just got a really bad one that you made. So now we need to delete that one, delete those bad habits if they are there. Sometimes it's a lot of problems that are not even existing. It's the thought of showing up on camera. It's the thought of producing a video. It's the thought of them actually doing the content, doing the work. So they'll stay in busy work, planning deep AI sessions for days and weeks. And I'm working on it. I promise it's coming. And ain't nothing coming because psychologically they have psyched themselves out into not getting to publish. And that is the biggest thing. Even like with some of the rebrand stuff that we're doing right now is the branding elements is literally called the community, the publish squad, because if you are not getting to the point of hitting publish, everything else that you do before don't matter. Because if the world never sees it, it doesn't matter. So it's like being a part of the publish squad is important because it's about hitting publish. If you're doing all this other stuff, it don't matter. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. And Diana, you covered so much of the pain points that I see, right? Not only do I see that with my clients, but I also see that in our creator community. You mentioned Creator Camp, right, from Ecamm, and there's incredible content, incredible momentum that happens at the conference. And as you mentioned, they come in with all of this and start creating, but there are so many, the videos that they're creating, even though they're posting it and they post for a consistent month, they still can repurpose that. And that could be in the system, right? That could be added to the workflow. And okay, we're going to create this. And out of this, we're going to take some videos from there and repurpose them, right? They will still be, right, vertical videos because we're talking about dimensions and all the things. But then also you mentioned something that I see a lot, which is you spend, right, me included, spend a lot of time behind the scenes
Yeah.
working on it, right? Like I'm working on it. It's gonna come out, and those deep sessions. But then and you put it very, in a way that I hadn't thought about it before, which is we unconsciously block ourselves from clicking publish, right? From actually uploading that video because we are doing the work, right? So, what is your advice to them, right? Okay, let's go with the systems. Now, what do you do? Say somebody who just came out of Creator Camp and
So
they're excited.
okay. So the thing is, use the energy. However, let's make it a renewable resource, right? And so instead of it being like gasoline in a car where you put some in, you drive it out, and then that's it. The car doesn't make more gas for you or something like that. So when you come off of a high of an event or you come off of a call or something and it makes you just feel like I can do this, we now need to turn that into a renewable resource. And the way that we start to do this, number one, I call that like like you have a content what is it, disruptive content disorder is what I'll usually call it. It's like, okay, let's give this a name. So when you see this, it's like, oh no, this is DCD. I got disruptive content disorder. And so let's call it that. And so it's like, okay, so now when you see those things, it's like, nope, I'm doing the DCD stuff. I got to stop. It's like, so now let's make this into a renewable resource, which if I'm coming off of a high, yeah, let's make something right now because like attracts like. So I usually just say start with a vertical video. It could be as simple as an Instagram story. It could be a vertical video that you post to like your stories or your LinkedIn post. Do something because if you take fuel and energy that's bottled up and you only decide to just do something small, like well, not do something small, but do something behind the scenes again. You're going back into that disruptive content disorder behavior. We don't want to do that. We don't want to just plan endlessly. We want you to be able to go and do the work. So doing the work can be so small, and the achievement that you get and the high that you get off of posting something, just saying like, man, I just came from creator camp. You got your phone, just coming from creator camp. I'm so pumped. One of the things that I thought about was how much we procrastinate and we self-sabotage. And I know I was created for something more. So I'm so excited for these next 90 days of content that I'm going to be producing, publish, because that is enough to get you to the next publish. It's like, okay, I did it. Not, I was thinking about it, I was planning. And it's so simple. It could be a written post on LinkedIn. It could be a written post on your YouTube community tab. It's very simple and very small. So we turn this into a renewable resource by building a system. It's like, okay, what number? The first thing is your time. Most entrepreneurs get stuck, or content creators, they get stuck because it's like, I don't have the time. And I promise you, you do. Or you have, it could be a debilitating real disease or something, or disorder, and you're like, man, this is keeping me from doing X, Y, and Z. And the truth is, it is not. Let your things that have been seen as limitations in the world become your superpower for moving forward. So I can speak to this because I've battled stage 4 endometriosis for I don't even know how many years at this point. Now, the thing is, it would be so bad that there are days where I didn't know if I was going to feel good, or I didn't know if I was going to feel bad that day, and not be able to literally do anything. I'm just, taking medicine. I have a heating pad and I'm laying down and I can't do anything, but I can do something because my brain still works. So those become planning sessions. And on the days that I could do something, those became action sections. So, and action days. Now, once you look at your time, and I talk about this in my book, The Content Quadrant, we actually talked about this on the last Unmuted session that we had, which was the content quadrant. The reason that even exists is because I was like, okay, at the time I worked at the bank full time, and then I was starting to make content. And I'm like, okay, I know I want to start producing more stuff to get clients from the same problems that we're talking about now. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? Content quadrant became a thing. And so it's like, if I only have 15 minutes or something like that, I can crank out a lot of stories. So I started to identify my ideas, because I would keep a note, just put like ideas in a note. You don't have to do anything extra. And I started to say like, okay, I want to do this idea, but this one could be a short. But maybe there is a version that could be a long version, but it's like, this one's a short. Write out the idea of like, this is what it is. I love my watch. We was talking about this before, because I can do voice memos. You can do voice memos on your phone. I have a shortcut on my phone as well. So I can just say, I have my idea about X, Y, and Z. And now we have AI. You can upload those audio pieces and just say, pull and organize these ideas based off of what I said in the audio. And that's it. Now, once you look at your time, now we can start to look at effective systems for actually doing the work that we are thinking about, planning and stuff like that. It's a million different ways to create content. I like to use my HIC-CN formula, which is HICC-N, which is the hook, the intro, the core content. And then the C-N is either the call to action to get somebody to take a next step, or the next logical question that video produces. Because all content is going to be a solution to one thing and opening up a door to another problem, or it should. And so if that's the case, what are they asking for now? So if you're having issues making content, the next logical question that you probably had was, how do I plan a video? So I would do a piece of content like that, and that process would continue. So I don't want to dump too much, but it's like,
I'm over here taking notes, D. I'm taking notes. Yeah, I mean, the relationship between strategy and workflow needs to be on point. Right? Because we can have the strategy, and which is great, but then the workflow, the ideation process, right? Then we're going to take action. And then the action could mean taking it out of ideation and now breaking it down into segments, what your video is going to be like, right? Yep. And then after that, then you're going to decide which platform you're going to be posting on. The platform that makes sense for you, not the platform that you should be on. Right? Because there's a difference. on that, right? The platform where your audiences are going to be, or what you're seeing a trend on, and you want to hop on that, but your audience is not there. So that will, what do you call it? Like time suckers? What is it that you call it?
Oh, you mean the
Vampire?
um yeah, it's like an energy vampire or a
Yes.
time drain or something to that effect.
So it's not going to be productive for you. It's going to be completely counterproductive because you have all of these things and then you're posting in a platform where you're not going to see results. And that is what I see a lot of creators, right? I see a lot of creators spending a lot of time wondering where they should post, what dimension they should post on, right? And what was, they spend a lot of time on that part. So
Yeah.
following that system that you just mentioned is very important, right? Just writing it down and not even dumping, right? Just writing down steps, because that will create momentum from what all the information that you share right now. That's what I gather. Momentum, like use that and continue on with it.
100%.
Yes.
Yes. So the thing
Yes.
is, the reason why you say what that idea is because I guarantee you in 15 minutes it'll be gone. It'll be like a feather in the wind. It'll just be gone. And you'll remember that you had a great idea, but you will not remember exactly what that great idea was.
Yeah,
And
and
I
they don't come back. They don't. I
they
mean,
don't
they,
come
they
back.
they might come back, but not the same way because you will feel it. You'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
that's.
Kind of about, I think it could have been, but it might have. And it's like, no, it's gone. It's gone. So that's why it's like, I don't care if I'm driving, and I even set up on my phone. So again, I work with my quirks. I don't try to make it a problem for me. So I will say SIRI because I don't want to trigger anybody's phone. Or when I have my Android phone, I would say the hey to the Googler. It's like, hey, Google. And and so it'll trigger, and I'll say, start a voice memo, or start the notepad or whatever. And so then I can do and dictate what it is. I don't have to write anything. I don't have to stop what I'm doing. And then all I'm doing is literally hitting stop on the phone or my watch or whatever. And so the other thing, I want to get back to the main point that you just mentioned, but that is essential. It's like work with your quirks, though. So I asked you to restate your question just because I want to make sure I answer it fully.
Good. So creators, right? Sometimes that they focus on a lot of where to
Platforms.
post, right? The
Yeah.
what should I post horizontal? Should I post vertical? Where should I post? Should I jump on this trend? And then we
Okay.
get stuck into that circle.
Okay. This is very simple and very easy. Your people are the dictators of where you are and what you do and how you do it because you are serving them, period. If anytime, like if there are times when it's very hard to not hop on a trend because it's fun, not hop on a trend because it could quote unquote blow your channel up or whatever. It's very hard to stay focused and keep the main thing the main thing. But if you are not serving your people, then you're not serving your people. So where you post matters because, like, for example, when I first got started, I posted on Facebook because my first business coach that I hired for like online stuff was on Facebook, and he got his clients from Facebook, totally different audiences. And he's like, well, I don't understand why it's not working. Well, clearly I don't know why it's not working either. And I'm doing live streaming, I'm doing the same stuff. And then I thought, and I looked at my pattern and my behavior, and I said, I don't even look for stuff around this answer myself on Facebook. There's no search feature. There's no way to figure that out. So blogs, which is what got me starting to write blogs, and then that because that was one medium and form of communication, so that dictated what I did. A podcast because I listened to podcasts, which is actually where I got my first client from when I first got started. Came from my podcast, and then number what am I on 304, whatever the number may be, allegedly. So then was YouTube. So I prioritized those platforms with YouTube being my pillar piece of content, and everything else can circle around it because video is every form. It is an image, it is a video, it is audio, it is the copy that you're speaking, or like copywriting, it's the words that you're speaking. It's all formats. And so I could get everything that I needed from video, but the platform that I went to was the platform that my people were on. I said, my people ain't over here. If I had a church, if I was doing nonprofit stuff, if I was talking to an older demographic, or I'm talking personal development or something like that, then I may post on Facebook in that way, because pages were a big deal back then. But I'm like, my people ain't looking for nothing on Facebook. They're on YouTube. As soon as I did that, instant pop. And honestly, it took me longer to hit like 300, 500, and then eventually 1,000 than it does now because of how easy stuff is. But I was on YouTube because that is where my people were, and I did the content formats that would best serve them and how they wanted to receive content, not what I felt like, or me hiding away. I didn't even like being on camera. So it's crazy that I'm even doing any video content, Mark. It's like, give me your camera. I'll take the picture of the group because I don't want to be in the photo. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't want to be
Yeah.
on camera.
Yeah.
So, but I was in front of the camera because that is the way that best communicated with my people. Nothing else mattered.
Well, Diana, I mean, everything that you mentioned, that is exactly what should be done, right? And how we should do it. But then we just get in the way. We get in our own way. And one of the things that I have found works great with my clients is templates. So what I mean by that is this is where you start, right? Number one, and then just follow these. And this was something that I had to do myself because I'm not too structured, right? So in terms of things come my way and I just write them down, and then afterwards I just go on and try figuring it out. But then I found that when I do have my systems, when I do have my strategy, things work faster, right? It works out the way I want it to work, and I can see the impact. And so after I tried that for myself, I presented it to my clients, and that's now they are doing that. So a template is one thing that we can create, or we can download it from. There are tons of templates out there. But I think, Diana, you have frameworks already in place that you can provide. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. So we go to your website and we download simple templates, right? Or contact Diana so that you can see at least to get started. Because sometimes that's all we need, a template,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then we just add our own flavor to it once we see it working. But trying to get everything and trying to post and trying to be on different platforms and trying to, go on LinkedIn and post and then trying to figure out when to post, you're going to be frozen. And this is, we need to, this is why systems are so important to support the strategy so that you can see the return that you want to see.
100%.
Right? Yes.
So yeah. So when it comes to like content, there's a system when it comes to content, and then there is a system when it comes to your overall strategy. So I'll break it down into two parts. So that HIC-CN formula that I talked about was because if I was anywhere and if I was charged, like coming from Ecamm's Creator Camp, then I wanted to be able to make a piece of content. Case in point, I took notes, like I did. I do exactly what I say and teach, which was I had an idea for a video. I put what kind of video, about how long this video may take me. This video could be 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes is all I need just to make sure I can do this 7 to maybe, it could be like anywhere from 5 to like 7 minute video. And so just so happened to be out of town. Doc Rock and I were out of town. He's probably walking around in the back of that video. And I was like, oh, I got a few minutes before we leave here. Let me crank out a video real quick. I'm feeling good. It's charged. We're in a nice area. I'm like, and I always carry my camera. So I'm like, let's go. Pulled up my notes. And so the way I was able to use that HIC-CN formula was the hook. I had already wrote that out because sometimes your ideas comes in pieces. And again, work with your quirks, not against them. Nobody's telling you that you have to do the video this week just because you had the idea yesterday. And so sometimes some ideas will marinate, some ideas you can fire off, and you'll kind of know the more you start to create. But it's like some ideas are relatively simple because you know your stuff. At some point, you have to build up the confidence or rebuild the confidence that you have in your stuff and know that you're the bee's knees. You are good at your stuff. You can do what you want. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're in business for a reason. You're talking about something that you're passionate about. So I'd write out the hook. I don't do like an intro or anything anymore. At most, it may be like a 2 or 3 second bumper in between just to kind of break up the sections. But I don't really do like an intro in that way. But that's what that intro is for. If you have like an intro card or a bumper like we have with this show, it makes sense to have one. So at that point, it's like you got your hook, you have the intro, and then let's get to the meat of the content. I'm very disciplined when it comes to getting to the point quick, especially like when I'm doing my YouTube videos. I got my hook. We don't have the intro bumper anymore. And so I get straight into the meat. So within 8 seconds or so, we are already diving into the main reason that that person clicked on the video, if not sooner. So you know your stuff. The easiest way is at least 3 blocks or at least three subjects. Or it's like point number one, point number two, point number three, because you don't want to just just kind of that verbal vomit, if you will. I was trying to figure out a better way to say it, but there's no way I can think of it. But you don't want to just kind of blah on people and they get lost because you're so excited. Have order. Okay,
Yeah.
this is what the video's about. 3 points. Then like you usually can know the points, but as you get the idea, it's like, oh, the hook could be this. Write it down. The points could be this. Write it down. So then once that video is planned, it goes away from my ideas folder. Like once I start planning it, I move it into planning folder in my phone. Then once it is ready to record, there's a folder in my phone called ready to record. So if inspiration hits, I can pull from my ready to record video, whatever the focus is for the month, whatever your campaign is in your business, you can say like, oh, these are the videos that are ready to record. So then, well, like I said, going back to this example, being out of town with Doc and I, and we're like in some park or in front of a courthouse or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I have time. I can make this quick video. And I did. And that video did exceptionally well on my channel. And it didn't take me no time. And I had my phone up. At one point, I think one of the B-roll clips is me with my phone in my hand because everything is content. So Doc recording me recording is content. The Instagram stories become content. And so pro tip, I have a B-roll folder. That's all my actions, all my interviews. A lot of times, if I'm doing a show or something like this, I'll have a camera just off the center, so you won't be able to see it, like kind of where my hand is. You won't be able to see it, but it's recording me, so it shows me doing content. I didn't need to do nothing else but set the phone up, set the camera up, and it's recording me doing my stuff. So I'll do that, and it's like just take advantage of what you're already doing. Then the last part is that call to action. Either you're sending them somewhere like, hey, go get my free PDF thing or whatever, or that next logical question. But here's where it makes a difference between content creators and business owners. The system of what you use to either design the hook or what you use for the call to action is dictated by what is the purpose for this video when it comes to the buyer's intent. Because you have a business, you ain't making content for fun. You're not talking about maybe makeup, for example, because you love it. You are talking about something revolving around your business. So does the hook, the meat of the content, and that call to action, especially like I said, especially the hook, because if they don't stay, none of the rest matters.
Right.
The core content, because they need to get to a point to where they love you. And I mean love you like because it's like when I see you, I know you're gonna bring it. I know you're gonna give me exactly what I was looking for. See, I knew I needed to click on your video. You know what I'm saying? And you start to
Yeah.
see these kind of comments. It's like people ask you, can you make a video about them? Like it's a video about that. No, I want to see your video because
Right.
I know I'm gonna get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you do that, but now the call to action needs to be predicated on what is that buyer's intent. Where are they going? What are they trying to do? So now that is when, so that's zoomed in to the specific video, just that HIC-CN formula. And there is a video on my YouTube channel about that. But now let's zoom out. We can zoom out. I'm gonna take a break here because I don't want to just keep, da 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 da. But you zoom out, and if we're looking at that global system of how this video fits into the system of the business, that is different, and it can be summarized into 3 simple points.
Yeah, and video is going to be repurposed for all of you. So make sure that you're following and if you have not signed up for the Ecamm newsletter, this is your chance so that you can get the amazing blog that is coming through to you, downloading the main points of this unmuted episode. But before we continue, I want to send a shout out to our Ecamm fan members who are on the YouTube side and also on LinkedIn. We have Jill. We have Andrew Moon, who's happy to see you, Diana. And he says that systems and processes are his love language. I mean, yes, right? Right. And Jill mentions that that's a great idea, capital on great, right? Promises self that she will write it down and remember that, if she doesn't write it down, the idea is going to be gone. So that's that. And Curtis, hello. Nice to see you here. So Diana, we've spoken about all the things that need to be done, how the systems will help us get to our goals, right? Mm-hmm. That we want to achieve with our video creation. So now let's match that to the tools that we need to support those systems, right? So for example, we are using Ecamm right now. And what happens is that Ecamm is recording, we're going live, but Ecamm is also recording this video. And so what happens afterwards is that we can do multiple things with it. And that is depending on the goals that we have, right? We can repurpose it because we have it recorded. We can do a blog, right? So that will go in the system. So if that is what your system is like, and that is what your customers expect of you, as Diana mentioned, then we go on and use those tools, right? So Diana, for you, what tools do you recommend based on goals? So let's talk about a creator who's just starting out or is coming back, right? Or who went to Creator Camp and now has all the information. And what kind of tools do you recommend them to use? And then we can move on to, so this will be a 2-part, we can move on to corporate teams who are trying to use video, right? So go ahead.
Okay, so for that solopreneur creator that's coming, like I said, coming from Creator Camp, they're all jazzed, they're excited, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to do something. It's going to sound lame, but I promise your phone is powerful enough to do a lot of the stuff that we just talked about. Because if you heard me, I didn't mention any specific app. I just said the Notes app on the phone, just the regular one. So whether that's Google Notes or whether it's Apple Notes or you like Evernote or I don't care whose note, just make sure you put your note in there. It's like, just do that and we'll be golden. And then the other thing, again, work with your quirks, work with your busyness, work with your schedule. The audio recorder, all phones have them built in. It's a native app. Put it on the front. And if you have where it's like 3 screens that you can swipe on your phone or whatever, put it on the first one. Put it on the primary one. So when you have an idea, you can just hit start. The other thing, you have all of these AI assistants built into the phones, whether that is Siri, whether that is Google Assistant. Then set I think it's called like a routine, even like for Alexa or something like that, which I hope she don't start talking. So you can create a routine, or I can't remember what it is. Like it could be a shortcut on Apple, and I can't remember what it is on Google Assistant. But when you do that, you can say, hey, name of that assistant, start a voice memo. Now, the thing is, if you have that schedule, you can just fire it off whenever you're ready. You don't have to wait. So those are the baseline. Work with what you have. Your vertical stories and stuff, start with your phone. Now, I know everybody desires to have a setup like you and I have. Like, say, you want the blurry background, you want the nice microphone, the nice sound, and all that stuff. Okay, great. If you don't have a camera, you can use the rear-facing camera on your phone. If you've invested in a camera, invest also in learning how to use it. Not to perfect it, learning how to use it and get it to the point where it's great. Not to the point that it's excellent, not to the point that it's perfect. Get it to the point that it's great, which means you're not going in and out of focus. It's not going super bright to super dark. It's not getting super loud to super quiet. If you can manage those things, you're golden. Get a basic podcast style microphone. I say a podcast style microphone like this. It doesn't have to be this one because I think this was like $300-$400 or something. It's ridiculous, but it's amazing. So maybe not. Industry leading. Michael Jackson recorded, what is it, like Thriller or something? I don't know on it, but you can, the $99 to 89, what is it, 69, 89, and $99, you can get microphones that sound 90% of what this sounds like. And that could be the Rode Pod mic, that could be the Shure MV7, that could be also like the ATR 2100 by Audio Technica, and that could be the Samson Q2U that's also by Audio Technica. I would be wary of the $30, $40, $50 microphones on Amazon because when you type on your desk, when you move your mouse and you're doing whatever kind of stuff, it picks up all the noise. Right now, it's a plane going over, so you can't hear that because of the digital side of stuff that I have now. Now, here's the thing. I used to love and use the Rodecaster Pro, Rodecaster Pro 2. They have all the other ones. They just got a whole family and suite of products. I don't anymore because, again, I'm working with my quirks. There's a bunch of post-it notes everywhere. There's my journals over here. There's my book over there. I got my coffee. I need space for my actual desk, not for it to look Instagrammable, but workable. So having a bigger system didn't work for me. I went to the Vocaster 2 and I switched to Crisp AI because I'm not saying to get something just because everybody on YouTube has it. I'm saying to get what works for you. Freaking aerial planes always going over. The military always want to test the jets and see how fast we can go today. The day Diana got something to do. I promise you that's how the schedule is built. She got a call today. We saw her go live. Schedule the jets. It's like we
That's
got
what happened. That's what happened to Jill and Katie when they were recording about they were live for Creator Camp. There was an ambulance going over that decided to do, whatever they needed to do at that time. But yeah, Chris is a very good tool to use depending if you need it or not, right? So Chris, what it does is that it cancels out the noises that are around you and just isolates your voice. So depending on how loud your environment is that you're going to be recording, that might be a good tool for you to use, right? So that's and then for solopreneurs, they can also start with their phone, as you mentioned, and then just get a microphone that is attaches to their phone. So for example, the Rode wireless mics, you can use it with your phones, and then also you can use it on your setup. So it serves dual purposes for you. And then until you're ready to, do something else, like if you wanted to change the aesthetics of your setup and your microphone, right?
Yeah.
So do you have anything else for solopreneurs before we move on to corporate teams?
Focus on your audio and your lights. I know cameras are sexy, they're fun, they're amazing. The software is fun, it's sexy, it's amazing. But the thing that will keep your people watching your content is, can they see you clearly without you looking uber dark? And then can they hear you clearly is the paramount point. If you can just get your audio to sound good, they will be more forgiving of whatever happens with your video. I had cameras where it would go in and out of focus. I had times where I would mess up something. I don't even know what I could tell. It's like it's so many things I messed up. But I posted the video anyway. I hit publish and the audio was still fine. So if you make your audio the paramount point here, then everything else you can start to piece and say, I'm going to fix one thing in the next 30 days and then fix one more thing in another 30 days. Not everything all at once, because too many learning curves equal a circle.
Yeah, and then also on top of that, right, the audio, if you have good audio and you are repurposing, you can edit and add B-roll over it, but the audio is still there, right? Yep. So that is the important thing about that in audio. But Paul is saying that that just like you, right? Wouldn't you? That was before. Wait, he says he uses Crisp and it is amazing, and I agree, right? And then he writes that the fire alarm has gone off in his apartment building, and no one on the stream heard it because we're using Crisp. Crisp is legit. It's legit. We have used it in very intense environments and loud, and it hasn't. I mean, you have to make sure that you don't go overboard with the audio, because it might sound weird, but it's just test it out, and you will find your medium when it comes to audio blackouts. And yes, so
okay. Only if you need it. Only if you need it.
Right.
That's it. Only if you need it.
And that's the key, right? Only if you need it. Because if you start getting too many things, then you're going to get stuck, as Diana has been mentioning. So let's talk to you about corporate teams, which is totally different, but at the same time, it's kind of similar, right? Because now a lot of corporate, they are utilizing the talent that they have. They're not going, brands are not hiring or as much as they did before, influencers for their services. They're using their own talent employees. And so, but then at the same time, the employees will need training, right? They will need the confidence building and all the things, right? So that's one thing that we're going to be covering on our next episode with Skibell. He is going to be talking about all of that camera confidence and how corporate teams use Ecamm, right, as one of their tools to use a video and promote and do all of their goals, right? Achieve their goals, specific goals when it comes to that. So we're going to have them on March 11th. But now, Diana, let's go back to corporate. And what do you suggest they do when they're starting out with their talent in-house?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the attention and focus goes to the talent, like you need to be doing X. Now it's twofold, and two possible options that usually kind of happen, which is number one, they say, "Hey Jill, you go and be the content person, come up with the ideas, figure it out, and post the stuff. Have great success, and you'll keep your job. If you don't, we'll have to have a conversation." It puts a lot of pressure. And so, but it gives them creative freedom if you let them have creative freedom, because if they're figuring it out all by themselves, there's only like you're just paying them to honestly to figure it out. Then give them grace to do that, and at the same time let them buy stuff to like courses and whatnot to get better. The other scenario is where you have it's a team effort, and so you have maybe it's the corporate head or whomever is this what do you call it? Like I can't remember. It's like a director, could be a content director or whatever, who's overseeing the whole content team, which could be a video editor, a thumbnail, a audio person. Like they could have it split. They could have two video editors and a virtual assistant, and a thumbnail graphics person or whatever. So with that, I recommend two different things for the person and the company where you're hiring somebody and you want them to figure it out. You have to also take part in the success, because otherwise, whoever that corporate head is, the director person that's trying to oversee what they're doing, they're going to give such bad feedback. They're going to, after like 30 to 45 days, they're going to start to get pissed off because they're not seeing results. They're paying you every day. You seem like you're hanging out, watching YouTube videos, doing whatever, like you're not, quote unquote, doing anything. However, they don't know what the work is. So you need to participate in the company's rescue of what you're doing. So if they ask you to participate, participate. If they say that they need to bring on another person, trust them to do it until you figure out that you can't trust them to do it, because you don't know what it takes. Do some content with them. I understand that you may be busy, but even if that's like, I got 30 minutes, how can I help? What would you need me to be a part of? Can we come up with a skit or something? Let's go to AI and ask GPT to come up with something fun or whatever, just to like be a part of it. Sit in and watch and see what's going on, not to oversee, but to participate in the business's rescue, because that is a lot of pressure. If you are, if you're doing a corporate system and you have multiple legs, or like you had like, or I had my head video editor and I had a second video editor. It was like part time. So one is full time, but one is part time. And then I had my my virtual assistant, and then I had a thumbnail graphics person. So now when you have that, or you have a content team that's part of, and they're just a small fraction of a bigger business, they need a unified system. And what I ended up coming with for my own company, for my own people, was what I call the content flight path, which is, what do we need to do? What are the progressive and successive actions that need to happen in order for this video to be published and to take off? And the way that that is formulated is whose role. You can do this in Asana. I made a PDF document for it, just so, because part of the onboarding with doing this, when you have a team, there needs to be onboarding when you bring somebody into this. Don't expect them to know anything. So like I said, participate in your business's rescue with what you're trying to do. You want an ROI from video, you want to grow the business, get more leads, get more clients, get more sales. You need to participate. Actually learn copywriting. You need to learn some of the things of what it takes to do content. Even if you're just watching some stuff, watch like Alex Hormozy, watch Alex Catoni, watch whomever. You know, Gary Vee, I think, puts off maybe sometimes for some people it's just a little bit too twang. Not everybody, vibes with Alex Hormozy, but find your person. I don't care who it is, find your person.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, you have a team trying to get this wrapped in real quick so I can land the plane. The thing is, though, when you have a team, everybody needs to be on an onboarding system so they know if you don't do your role and what it takes to get the video published within said time frame because you timed and tested to see how long it takes, have everybody, whether they're using like toggle track just to say specifically how long it's taking to edit a 30-minute video that is condensed down to maybe 10 minutes. Then now we need to go to the lead and say like, okay, whoever's recording content, 30 minutes is too long. What's happening in the content? We need to go back to the planning session. Everybody's taking an active part in succeeding. And this becomes something that becomes a core value. So for me, in my business, the core value is similar to what I learned from Chandler Bolt, which is everyone's responsible for success. Everyone is responsible for achieving a greater success within the business. Nobody's like, well, that ain't my job. Everybody's held accountable. So it's like, okay, well, where can I help? Content's taking 30 minutes. Let's see what we can do to look at the content formula, or what are we doing when it comes to planning? Is it that they have to get up and sit down and go over here and do a lot of stuff? Can somebody donate 15 minutes to kind of help them so they don't have to get up? So it's like we need to organize that. But that content flight path is what's the first thing that needs to happen. From planning, what's the second thing? Okay, when audio is done, such and such, send a message in Slack to this person. This starts their task in Asana or ClickUp, and it's just a progressive thing. And honestly, if you use ClickUp or Asana or Monday.com, when you create a video and you're planning a video, it should be like 7, 8, 9, 10 different tasks of each step with each person that's responsible for publishing the video. Not just one task for the person that's got to record it. Everybody is responsible for achieving success. And so it needs to say like, okay, such and such taking a bit longer. They don't look like they're going to hit the deadline. Maybe I'm not tapped in yet for this video, but I got a little time. How can I help? So that content team needs to work, like I said, just like you have a pilot, you have the stewardess, you have the people that handle the snacks, the people that handle the luggage and stuff like that. Everybody is responsible for this plane taking off. And so when you have a team, it's a much bigger system like that. But I call it like the content flight path of all of those individual things that must happen for this video to take off.
Yes, I mean, we got you, social media manager. We got you because we know that you are handed so much for you to do. And now you can take this piece of content right here and pass it along to your team so that they see all the things that you're doing. Because that's one of the things that I hear from for young professionals who come over for consultations. It's like, how do I do this? And they're doing so much that is other people should be helping, especially because they have a corporate team. Right, they have a marketing team, and So thank you for sharing that. They're going to appreciate that information. And so just to send a shout out to, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, from LinkedIn, Colarily. Says Curly. Okay,
No,
he says love Diana. She always shares great nuggets of wisdom combined with practical steps. So I agree with that. And then on the YouTube side, we have Meredith, and she says, great to see Diana. And we have James Hicks over here saying hello. Hey. Hello, James. So we have covered Diana so much. And as I mentioned earlier, make sure that you're following you're subscribed to the Ecamm fam on YouTube, and also here on LinkedIn, you're following Ecamm Network so that you can be notified when the next episode comes live and when the blog is released, as well as some shorts that we're going to be putting out. And if you do not not have Ecamm but would like to try Ecamm, you can do so. You go to ecamm.com/Anna and you can ANA and you can try it for 14 days. If you would like to purchase Ecamm, you can use code ANA, ANA 15 for 15% of your first payment. And what Ecamm helps you do is exactly this. What you're doing is it is a professional production that you can use to record, multi-stream, live stream, create your courses, video podcasts, and way more. So if you would like to learn more about it, ecamm.com. All right, Diana. So here we are, right at the end of this incredible session that I feel like we're going to have a lot of repurposing. We're going to have a lot of great information from here because you just hit so many different points and the systems to support the strategies and the system themselves can vary depending on your goals, right? Because that's why the system is important for you to have those goals and then know what tools you're going to be using, what platform you're going to be posting this video. So you're spending a considerable amount of time to make. So you want it to work for you. And the only way I would say that will work for you if you have a system in place, you have your workflow, and you know where your audience is. Right, Diana?
100%. 100%.
All right. So any last shares that you would like to, like as I said, recap? So for example, if you had one thing, if someone is watching this video and they're like, okay, I like all of that, but holy cow, that was a lot of information. What is the one thing that they can do today to get started? One for corporate and one for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, creators.
Okay. So for a solopreneur creator, I would say take a deep breath. You don't have to do all things, but you can do one thing. And I would encourage you to take whatever that next active step is to getting you to hit towards publish. Not more planning sessions with AI, not more watching YouTube videos, because if you've been doing that for a while, you've been on the same step for a long time. Let's progressively move to the next thing, which could be planning that video. If you've been thinking about it a lot, that could be just capturing your idea. What is my content idea that I have? And just think and just put next to it simply, is this a short, like something that I could just riff off real quick for like 50, 60 seconds? Or is this like a video I want to plan out? Okay. And then just do that. Now, if you're a corporate business, I would say take a deep breath because a lot of times the business has goals and metrics and systems that are already existing. So when you have a system, you have this what's a disruptive content disorder, then we have a system that's broken. So I would say pull your people into a room, whether that's 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and it's like, guys, I figured it out. We have a disorder. I figured it out. We have been diagnosed. And say, okay, here is what we want. Here is our campaign goal for the next 90 days. And have a brainstorming session because the social media manager, the content director cannot do this by themselves. Okay, the marketing lead cannot do this by themselves. They are not a team of one. They are a team of many. So I would say pull that team together, identify what stuff are we doing that's not working. No bashing people, just the action. What stuff that's happening that's not working? It could be poor communication. It could be whatever. Now, what is our dream outcome for what we're trying to do? And just like draw like a little T chart. This is all the stuff that we're doing. This is all the stuff that says that we have a disorder. And then what are the things? What's our dream outcome? Okay, we set a goal. We want to do this. And then just start working it backwards. Okay, now what kind of video ideas make sense to those goals? And just have a brainstorming session because that will give you more fuel than sitting in a room by yourself as the marketing lead, as the content director, as the social media manager, and you're trying to figure this stuff out by yourself in a vacuum.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. So on episode 1, everyone, we covered the strategy needed for you to get the return on investment that you are expecting from your videos. This episode 2, we're talking about the systems to help you achieve that strategy, right? To support it. And then now on the next episode, we are talking with Skibell, and we are going to be diving into strategies that turn video into your most powerful business tool. Leveraging Psychology of Influence on LinkedIn. So mark your calendars for March 11th at 11 o'clock. So we will have you all set, completely all set. You follow these systems, and we're not going to say we guarantee you, because that depends on your effort, right? But if you put all of these systems and strategies in place, you will see results that you will be happy with compared to what you were doing before. So thank you so much for being here, Diana. You were amazing as always. So your website, listen, let me just put up your website here, because you have incredible content there and people can go on and follow you. Is there anywhere that you would like me to go in your website to guide our awesome viewers to?
No, I haven't put the new header up just yet, but we have some new stuff coming. Like I said, our new direction and focus in the business is solely going towards content marketing and video strategy. And so you can sign up for the Publish Squad, which is our email community, on the page, but we'll be shortly going out with a new PDF free offer that's not available yet. But we'll be going out with a new free PDF offer that'll be talking about, like, how do you plan these kind of videos, taking that HIC-CN formula and applying it so you have that buyer's intent. It's just not ready yet. I'm sorry. I wish it was. I tried to do it, but it wasn't going to happen. So, but that's going to be the new free PDF offer. So once it's available, the email community gets it first. And then beyond that, just at Diana Gladney on YouTube, because we will be publishing content. Won't be about cameras and stuff like that as much anymore. We'll be focusing on marketing.
All right. And that's what we need, right? Marketing is what gets the video out there. If you don't promote that video, nobody's going to see it, right?
100%.
So thank you so much, everyone, again, for joining us and your comments and questions. And remember to sign up for the Ecamm Live newsletter so that you can be notified when the next episode comes of Unmuted and other great tools that they have and post in the newsletter. My name is Anna Heel, and I'm here with Diana Gladney. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. And we will see you on the internet. Bye, everybody.